Hey creator, and welcome back to another Mindful Creators Knitting podcast. It is episode number 25. I have a new whip, two new whips, one finished object, a little bit of progress on some other whips, and I'm just excited to chat with you. I'm really curious to see how long this one will take. I don't think it's gonna be super long. My last one was shorter. Did you like it? Let me know if you like shorter. I asked it, and I think it was mostly towards the end of the videos. I think most people checked out, but I'd love to know what kind of duration of podcast you like. But let's get into it. I'm gonna share with you first what I'm wearing and a finished object, and we're gonna go into everything. First, welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been a regular viewer. I appreciate you all so much for being here. It's been so fun to be back on YouTube like regularly. I've been posting weekly now for, I think since the beginning of the year now, and I've been really enjoying it, and you've been loving it, and it makes me so happy. So thank you. So if you like my videos, please like this one and follow me here. It's free, it's fun. It just helps me out a lot. I think it's just really fun to see people enjoying it, and just all that, you know. I really appreciate it. So let me get into the video, or let me first introduce myself because I haven't done that yet. I am Fem. Maybe good to know. I am a yarn dyer. I have a community group, and I like to make videos here on YouTube. And I do all the yarny things. I am primarily a knitter. I have a crochet project actually, so that's fun. And yeah, let me tell you what I'm wearing. Let's do a little tea question after, and then show some finished objects. So what I'm wearing, I've been showing this one so many times already. This is my home cardigan by Kadri. I've made this in Drops Air, which is a blown yarn. It's super soft. Oh, and Drops Kid Silk, by the way. Drops Air in Pearl Grey and Drops Kid Silk in Chalk. It's super soft, it's super cozy. I can overheat in this really quickly because it's so warm, but it's kind of a little chilly still now. So I'm wearing it just over like a long sleeve little blouse, and it's been nice. So it's really cozy. I don't like the sleeves and how this is my problem, how I made it. They're too big. I probably want to cut this off and then make a cinched sleeve eventually. This one is already a little better. I did something wrong. I don't know what happened. I started this one like last year, May, and finished it in December. So a lot of time went on. Tea. I'm drinking some tea. Get something cozy to drink if you want, or to eat, or whatever time it is for you. Look at this cup, this mug that I have. I got this one for Christmas for my boyfriend. If you don't know, I love dogs. I love dogs, but in specific Dachshunds. I'm obsessed with Dachshunds, with sausage dogs. I really wanted the sausage dogs eventually, hopefully this year. So yeah, this is a really cute mug. I already took my tea bag out, but let's answer a little tea question. Also, if you don't know, I sometimes do these tea questions. I'm from the Netherlands. We have a brand here that has conversation starters on their tea bags. And feel free to answer this one in the comments below. I'll always love to chat with you there. So this one says, let me just see it. What makes you happy today? So what makes you happy today? It's in Dutch, but that's what it says. For me, the sun. I don't know if you can already start seeing the light change a little bit. I'm in the back of the living room, but we have so much nice sun coming in right now. I'm so happy because it's really dark in our apartment. So the sun makes me really happy today. And you all here on YouTube. I don't know, cringy, but it makes me happy, so that's the thing. Okay, let's go into a finished object that I have, and it is something that I said I wanted to finish, and I did, so I'm really happy I did. This is a pair of socks. One of them is blocked, one of them is not, and I already wore them a few times, so they're not brand new, but you know, socks are for wearing, so I don't mind. These are the socks that I made. I started these, I think I cast these on Christmas actually, or Christmas Eve. One of the two, Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. And that was my Christmas cast on. And I knitted it pretty quickly, the first part or the first sock, and then I just left them because I was at the heel, and heels for socks are parts that just slow me down. As in, I kind of look not up to them. How do you say that? I don't enjoy them the most, even though this is like a German short heel, and I don't mind those that much. But I don't know, it was just, I couldn't pick them up and just mindless knit on them, you know? Let me just see quickly what the pattern is called again. These are the October 2022 sokken by Tanja Steinbach. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry. I will link it below, or I might link every project below, maybe even. I'll have to see. I always link, oh my god, talking, sorry, it's always this chaotic. Yes, I always link my Ravelry project page, as in where all my projects are, below, so you can see them there. But these are so cute, and they have a lot of different kind of textures. There's some options in the pattern. You can choose to do one texture full out, or do all the textures as I did. This is like how the sample is made up. And this is the sock that is already blocked. So we have, yeah, what is it? A little bit of a woven texture up here. It's a little hard to see in this color. There are some crosses here. Yeah, what is this? I don't know. It's cute. Then this is the same texture again as this one. We have some more crossed textures here. This is again the same texture. What do we have here? Some stripy ones, and yeah, some almost like balls. I don't know. The toe is a little different than what I normally do. I think they called it the rounded toe, but it ends quite in a point, as you can see here. Fit wise, I don't think I like this the most. I think I like my normal toes the most, which is just the toe that almost every sock pattern has. I feel like, I don't know what's called, but I like that one. You can see here the difference between blocked and unblocked. I have worn them, as I said, already a few times. So my body heat has also made it that it's already stitched relaxed a little bit. But you can really clearly see it when I hold them on top of each other, that the other one is definitely longer. It's stretched out a little bit more. Even the color is a little different, I feel like. Oh, that only shows up on camera, I think. Yarn-wise, oh, what is it called again? It is Regia. 4-ply, 4vaardig, I think. I'll link it below. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I have some hairs in here for Marley, which is one of my dogs that I dog-sit. Yeah, these are finished. I knitted them on a 2.5mm 9-inch circular. I should have gone down a size or down a needle size. It is not the best size for me. They are a little loose, and I have to say that most of my socks I only wear around the house. I don't wear them a lot in shoes. The shoes that I wear are sneakers or my Dr. Martens, and I can wear those in Dr. Martens. With sneakers, I just don't like my socks showing, so I always wear sneaker socks, like those invisible ones. It's just a thing. I've always had that, so I will never wear like these socks in there. Or maybe only, for example, I have like these flared pants on that are really long. Maybe then. I don't know, but I love wearing them around the house. I work from home for this, what I'm doing, the Mindful Creators. I do everything from home, so it works perfectly. So these are finished, and I already casted out a new pair that I will show in a little bit. A new pair of socks. I have a goal of making 6 pairs of socks this year, and this is my second finished pair, which means I'm pretty much ahead of schedule. But I know that, oh, there's so many hairs in here, I'm sorry. Black dog hair. We don't have a dog, but I do dog sit sometimes. What I was saying. My god, I'm so sorry. It's already all over the place. But socks. 6 socks? Yeah. So I know that I might not be knitting socks constantly throughout the year. And sometimes I knit socks that take a little bit more time, or when I'm busy with collections. I'm not knitting that much. I'm mostly swatching a lot, which I am working on a collection actually right now. Let me get into some news, because we always do this. We do finished objects, a little bit of news, and then go into whips. So let me go into some news. As I said, I'm a yarn dyer, the yarn dye behind the Mindful Creators. The Mindful Creators is like the name for everything that I do. And I have a new collection coming in April, so I'm working already on it, of course. That's something that you don't see a lot, I think. The behind the scenes of creating a collection, of how that goes, and colors. I don't show colors before well, I sometimes do, but I never say it explicitly. Normally I don't show colors that much, so I do talk about it with friends, which is really helpful and nice for me. About the yarn, so news. We did a Oopsie sale, which I don't know if you know about an Oopsie sale, but sometimes during yarn dyeing not everything goes to plan. So what happens then is, for example, I have some dye breakage, which means, for example, one specific color can be made up of different colors of dye powder. And sometimes they can break apart, which means, for example, if you have a purple, it can break up into blue and pink. Sometimes that happens. Or just something I sometimes mess up. I sometimes put in like the full recipe. Well, I need to have the half recipe, for example, for mohair and Surrey, because those skeins are half size. A lot of things, but we did an Oopsie sale and it was really fun, and almost everything has sold. And if you want to be how do you say it, updated on those things, please follow me on Instagram, because I am here on YouTube now every week, but every other week I do my podcast, which when I tell you those things, but sometimes I don't even know what's going to be happening in 2 weeks. So definitely follow me over on Instagram if you're interested in those things, and just in general if you want to follow me on another platform. I think I post on my stories daily, so a little bit personal, a little bit business and everything. So that's fun to know. Something else that is coming up is we are going to have a shop update next week. Next week, Thursday the 14th of March, yeah. We're gonna have a shop update because after the Oopsie sale, I was like doing some inventory checking and the shop is looking a little bare. Like this is everything that I have in the shop right now. So we're going to be doing a little shop update, and I have some skeins there in the front of the room. Like they're kind of dry. Some stracciatella. Stracciatella is everyone's favorite. I dyed it up on DK2, which is the first time. So that's going to be fun. I have some new colors coming. It's not going to be like a massive shop update. So if you have something that you're interested in, definitely be sure to be a little quick. I don't have the audience yet to know, or how do I say it? I cannot just dye up 100 skeins and be like, oh, those will sell. I'm not sure yet. So if you want to shop something or just be interested in what's coming up, so also follow me there. That's enough yarn talk, I think, for now, as in my yarn dyeing yarn talk. Let's get into one of my new whips, which is so exciting. I'm so excited about it, and it's just a whip that is super nice and mindless, and I can pick it up whenever I want. I will show you what I'm doing. You might have seen this already in the background. It is a crochet project, actually, the only crochet project that I have. And if you know me, you know I actually started crocheting before I started knitting. I feel like my camera is a little down. Let me just... I feel like this is a little better. Back to it. If you have been following me for longer, you know that I started crocheting before I started knitting. I started crocheting in December of 2022. Yeah. No, 2021. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, and I think knitting in summer of 2022, but really only picking it up in 2023. Like really making good projects, or projects in general. I really haven't been crocheting much because crocheting hurts my wrist quite a bit. It can make it hurt quicker than knitting. I always have wrist problems and everything, and my elbows and stuff, so I don't do it very often anymore. I do crochet swatches for my collections always, but that is about it. But I started a crochet project, and let me show you what I'm making. You already am seeing it a little bit here. Ooh, there goes some yarn. I have quite a bit of scraps, and scraps can be from 20 grams to smaller for me. This is just a bit of it. Most of those are my own hand dyed yarn scraps. So what I do for collections, as I said, I swatch, and I wind about 20 grams off of the full skein, and I use those for swatching, and everything that's left over kind of stays left over. I probably have like 15 grams or between 10 and 15 grams left over. So yeah, what do you do with all those scraps? This was our fruit bowl. It is now my yarn scrap bowl, so you can see it's taking over a little bit. And I just was itching to do something with it. Long story short, I started a blanket. As you can see here, it's a little hard to put in the screen fully, but I started a crochet granny stripe blanket, and it's actually called, I have my laptop down here by the way. Yeah, it's called the Granny Stripe Blanket by Green Leather Day, which is a yarn dyer, I'm pretty sure. And as you can see, I did quite some rows. I'm holding 2 strands of fingering weight together, of which one, oh, my yarn is all falling out of here, of which one is a white, just a solid white yarn, and then I'm holding, so this is the one I'm working with right now, another hand-dyed yarn together. So for example, this is for my first collection. This is called Morning Sun from the Cottage collection. This was from one of the Be My Baby Is it gonna focus? From the Valentine's Day. Come on, please. There we go. From the Valentine's Day build your own sets. Some more random that I started testing with when I started dyeing yarn. This is theater kit that we will see again in my socks from the last collection, and so forth, so forth. There's a lot of them in here. Let me just show you all the colors that I have in here by now, because I think I can say them. How do you say it? I know which one is which. I'm so sorry. This is like freaking chaotic. I'm already doubting if I should start over again. I don't think I'm going to, but I hope you were able to follow. I hope. So let's go see what I did. I followed the pattern pretty much. However, I'm using a different hook size. I'm using a 4.5. I chose to do a 4.5 mostly because I saw someone start with a 4.5 and then go down to a 4. 4.5 for the cast on and then go to a 4. However, I already noticed that a 4.5 is creating quite a nice tension for me. It is a bit of a hard time focusing. There we go. The only problem that I have now is that the cast on edge is a little tight. So I hope this is going to stretch out a bit with blocking. I don't know if I'm gonna block this, but I hope it's just going to stretch out over time a little bit. But yeah, this is a 4.5mm hook, and I feel like it's creating a nice tension, nice texture. We started off with Field of Flowers from the Cottage collection. I'm just gonna go through them quickly. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, these are all the names of the colors that I have in here. Field of Flowers, Tie-Dye Guy, Morning Sun, Relax Putnam. I think this is Stracciatella. You almost don't see it because of the white together. This is one of the, a new kind of color. This is one of a little bit of a ombre that I never released, just a test. Morning Sun again, Field of Flowers, Beneath Airy Moons. This is I Slept with a Murderer, Tie-Dye Guy, The Boy from 6B, Field of Flowers, Morning Sun. So for some colors I have quite a little bit more. And when I am done, let me see where it is. When I have less than 5 grams left, because one stripe takes me about 5.5 grams of the hand-dyed yarn. When I have less than that left, I will put it in a magic knot ball. So you can see here, I started one of those little magic knot balls. There are 3 colors in here right now. And this is so satisfying. So one of the reasons why I'm enjoying this project so much is because I don't know about you, but those scraps, they take up quite a bit of space, and it's not something that I will make a full project with. There are some really nice scrappy projects, by the way. I think I've made a video of it actually. I will link it there. One of the projects that I do really like is the sea glass tee, but I don't see myself wearing that a lot. So I think for me, this is something that just really works. It goes pretty fast. So one row takes me 15 minutes. And yeah, so when I'm watching a show, I can do a few rows. It is nice to work on, it's quite fun, and when they are done, I can put them in this ball, and that is just the most satisfying thing ever. Like using up some yarn. I don't know why, but I'm just really happy with that. I think it's just nice to have some out of my stash, or like not lingering around anymore, you know? So I will be working on this. I started this last week or the week before, I'm not 100% sure. I have worked on it for a few nights. It goes pretty quick, if you can see. I already have a good amount of length. Let me just quickly measure how long it is. It is 6 inches, which is about 15.5 centimeters. So I think that goes pretty quickly. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be making it and how fast I'm going to be doing it. I'm now really enjoying it. I do want to work on it a lot. Like, okay, I need just this. Or not just this, but I like to work on it quite a bit. It's just really mindless and nice. And yeah, width-wise, I think it's just a nice one person's couch blanket. I think that's what it's going to be too. I have been thinking, I don't know if I'm really going to be doing that, but because of course the nature of the granny stitch is that there are quite some holes in there, to maybe put a lining on it when it's finished. I'm not sure, has anyone ever done that? Let me know if you have done that, because I would be interested to know if you like it and how that worked out. But that is my long story short, my new project that I'm really excited about. it's just really fun. I don't know about you, but I talked about this a little bit last time. I really knit for fun. Knitting is really my, or this is crocheting then, but yarn crafts are really my relaxing time. Of course, yarn dyeing is a little bit of a different story. I really enjoy that too. By the way, I do really enjoy it, playing with colors, but that's a little different. But the knitting, and in this case crocheting itself, is just something I really want to do for my own relaxation, for just for myself. That's why I started it. I started crocheting to just have a new hobby again, to get out of my head a little bit. I was dealing with a lot of stuff back then, and now it's started to go more into being creative in some way. And I don't know, I just really want to make it the most relaxing time I can make it. And I do like an interesting project, because I think the second sweater or third sweater I ever started, which I eventually bought, but that was because of the yarn, was a cabled sweater, for example. Oh my god, the neighbors are sewing, or how do you call it? Not sewing. There was some noise, so I don't know where I left off, but knitting and crocheting is just relaxing time. I do like an interesting project, but I do need to have something very mindless and simple on the side. And in this case, it is this blanket. It's literally just casting on and doing the same thing over and over again, which sometimes is really boring to me, but now I'm loving it. So that is something that I've been working on quite a bit, and I do want to prioritize my other projects still too, but I just also really want to work on it, so we'll see how much I get done for the next time. Something else that I've worked only a little bit on, I've been flying around, yarn is flying around. This is a sweater that I casted on in January, about mid-January, and I could have been further if I had not let it linger, but that's okay. You know, this is a bit of a thinner or more lightweight knit, so I'm not too worried about it. I can still wear it in the springtime. This is, let me just show it to you. I only worked a little bit on it, but I'm still going to show it. It's this way around, yeah. This is the Surpass sweater by Lily Kate Makes. I've talked about it a few times, so I'm not going to be talking about it a ton. You can see a quite significant stripe in there because I did a mid block. Is that where I already... Oh my god, oh no, this is just... Yeah, I think it is. I think I already worked on it past the mid-block last time, but if not, then I did a lot. But I'm pretty sure actually this is where I left off. Because I always like to put markers in here, project process keepers. So I'm pretty sure this is where I left off last time. And this is then, for example, for the last session that I did on it. I'm working on the body. It is a really nice, a little bit more lightweight sweater. I'm using some sport weight yarn. The yarn that I'm using is a rosy green wool cheeky merino joy. It is beautiful soft yarn. It is an eco merino and I love it. It's so good. It's the first time working with it, but I'm pretty hooked already. So yeah, as you can see here, the sweater has some really fun shoulder detailing. My short rows, or how do you call my no, yeah, is it short rows? I think it's short rows. Look horrendous. I hope this is not going to be too noticeable when wearing it, but I haven't figured out how to make that look less noticeable. So if you know, let me know. For the rest, it's really beautiful. This yarn knits so nicely. It's gorgeous. The color, by the way, maybe this is fun to know too. The color is Melange Midnight. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. I think it's going to be nice. I don't know. I just love it. I think I have a little bit more to go on the body, and then I'm able to start sleeves, or how do you say it? Start the ribbing. But I'm probably going to start some sleeves before I start the ribbing, I think, because let me just grab it. I have 2 skeins left. The second skein is in here, is almost done, so I think I will be fine. A skein per sleeve, that's, yeah, I'm going to be perfectly fine. But I might just already start a sleeve before I start the ribbing. I'm not 100% sure yet. I will see what I do and you will see it in the next podcast if I already worked on it again. One thing about me, I always have a lot of whips, so I never really know what I'm going to be working on. Only if I have, like for example, the socks. I knew I wanted to finish them. I took those with me when we were going to my boyfriend's grandparents, which was perfect because I finished them when I was there. I only had like a heel and foot left. So sometimes I just, for example, when I'm knitting with my friends, I have some offline knitting friends. When we meet up, I take something with me that is a little bit mindless, but also just something I really want to work on. And an example of that is, let me just grab it here, my boyfriend's zipper sweater. Again, a project that I haven't worked on a lot, so I'm not gonna talk a lot about it. I have talked so much about it already. It's been on the needles for a long time, but I have made a tiny bit of progress. It's not a lot, it's really not a lot, but this is one of those projects that I take with me to them, for example, because we knit together for like 4 or 5 hours. 4 hours minus lunch. And then this is just something I can move through pretty quickly. So I picked up for the sleeve. Sometimes people ask me why there is a string in here. I have it on the other sleeve too. It's not that noticeable. It's a little string of yarn. This is the part why I picked up for sleeves, and the reason why I keep it in there is because it makes it really easy to compare to the other sleeve, how long it has to be, or sometimes I forget a little bit or I make a little mistake and the increases or decreases in this case, and then it's easier to check. So I only take it out after I finish the sleeves, and that is why it's in there. So that's maybe fun to know. But I started the sleeve, as you can see here. Again, a little process keeper in here, and it's not much, but I think I will be taking it with me this weekend. I will be seeing them again, and I can work quite a bit on it again. So if you haven't seen the last video, I finished the body and the sleeve, and I have another sleeve to go, and then the zipper facing, blocking, putting the zipper in, which is still a good amount of work still. But I would like to finish this pretty quickly so my boyfriend can wear it more as a like spring jacket. Oh, it's gone all over the place. More or less like a spring jacket than really a winter sweater, because we are getting towards spring here. It's starting to feel like spring. We have a lot of sun now the last few days, which I'm so happy about, because it's at the moment it's like full on sun or full on rain the full day, like the whole day. So it's fitting for Dutch spring, but it's starting to get a little warmer. So this is for then, like more like the summer, or no, how do you say it? The spring mornings and spring evenings, instead of like around the day, because during the day, because then it's too hot already. But yeah, yarn, this is Peer Gynt in light gray, I'm pretty sure. Again, it's in my Ravelry page, link below, so you can see it all there. Okay, I got some yarn from the floor because some things fell down. I have another new project that I'm just untangling here for a second. I started a new pair of socks because I finished the last pair and I do like to have some socks on the needles, and I started these day before yesterday, maybe? I don't know, not 100% sure. I've worked on it I think twice, yeah. These are pretty simple vanilla socks. Let me just show you not where the join is, because this is looking a little ugly, but they are socks, I don't really care. So these are, oh, there my yarn goes again. I feel like with the lighting now, everything gets blown out a little bit on the screen. So I feel like the variation is a little bit more subtle in real life, but it looks really cool. This is a pair of socks that I'm making from some own hand-dyed yarn. This is from my last collection. This is the color Theater Kid. I almost had to think about it. Theater Kid. If you didn't know, my last collection was called Only Yarn in the Building, and it was inspired by the show Only Murders in the Building. So this is Theater Kid, and this is inspired by Oliver Putnam. And it is this really beautiful mixed blue. I am not 100% sure if I still have some left in the shop. I think I do, because I do see some of it here. So I will link it below if you're interested. It's a really beautiful color. I am pairing it with some undyed that I had left over from my from my Be My Baby sock sets. I don't know what's going on today. I feel it's always a little chaotic. I'm just an enthusiastic person and I talk fast and sometimes I stumble over my words. But I feel like it's extra today, extra chaotic. So bear with me. I'm sorry if it's a little much. That's who I am. Sometimes a little much. These socks, let me just tell some specifics. I'm working on it on 2.5mm needles. There is a reason for it why I didn't go down, but I will tell you that next time. And that's my washer that's going off. Let's wait for a sec. It has like a 1 minute long song. We're back. Yeah, these are really nice. I like them. I wanted to make them a little more sporty. So I have these, I do workout. I really love to do weightlifting. And the socks that I wear are like these white with like two black stripes. So I was like, this is fun. Let me just do something different. And I feel like the white is just such a good contrast with this blue. It really makes the other color pop even more. Is it in focus? I'm not sure. I think it is. For the rest, I casted on 64 stitches. It is a 2x2 ribbing. And then just going into some normal stockinette. The stripe is 5 stitches, 5 rows long. The in-between stripe 4 rows. I wanted to do 3, but it turned out 4 and I think it looks good. The other one again 5, and then I'm just going on. And I think I'm going to add the heel by now. I feel like this is a pretty good length. Let me just see how long it is. I don't know how many rows it is. I'm not going to count now because I'll be counting for quite a bit. So from the cuff down it is like 13.5 centimeters, which is in inches 5 inches. I think that's a pretty good length. I could make it a little longer, I'm not 100% sure. I am going to be doing a short row heel, then just normal leg stockinette, just the blue, and then going into a normal toe. I don't know what the normal toe is, but I will look it up. I just type in sock knitting toe. And then I know what to do, but I just sometimes like to have a little bit more guidance, I think. And again, this color, yeah, it's just so nice and rich and blue. There we go. Just look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. Again, I will let you know. I have probably popped it in the screen if there's still something left of this on the website. It's a nice one. Fun thing, so we did the Oopsie sale, but what I also sell, I think it's focusing on the yarn now, yeah. What I also sell in the Oopsie sale is my swatch leftover. So this was an 80 gram skein, or 80/85 gram skein, which I call my swatch leftover. As I just explained, I take those out of the skein, the rest I just twist back up. I tie it back and then twist back up. And with, for example, 80 grams, you can make a full pair of socks. Because I have made some other, I'm actually wearing them right now. Let me just quickly, I'm gonna put my feet up in the screen, so don't be scared. These are some other socks I made. Those are with soft grass, but the first version of soft grass, which was for my first collection. And what was I gonna say about them? I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh yeah. Wow. I used a contrast color for the heel cuff and toe, which was 17 grams for a full pair. And the main color was 37 grams for a full pair. So I have 80 grams now. And I'm only using a teeny tiny bit for the white because I'm just going to be doing the same color for the heel and toe. So I will be perfectly fine. And I have quite some leftover still probably. But that's fun to know. So if you shop those Oopsie sales sometimes, and I have some 80 gram skeins, because most of the times I like to swatch in sock yarn, because I can use them for socks then, you have like 80 grams left over. You can make a full pair of socks for a discounted price. So that's fun. That was my new sock project. Those were my 2 new projects. So the blanket and the socks are new. And I'm aiming on having the socks finished by the next podcast. Because they're vanilla. Like for example, this part. Let me just say that quickly. From here, mid first stripe to here, I have done yesterday in the evening. I can knit socks pretty quickly. It flies off my needles. It's pretty mindless for me, for not the heel and the toe, of course. But even that, I'm always just like, oh my god, I don't want to do the heel. But then when I'm doing the heel, I'm flying through it, so it's all fine. But those are nice. My god, I think I will probably do a lot more than 6 pairs this year, or maybe not a lot more, but maybe like 8 or 10 pairs. But we'll see what I want to do. I'll probably make some other socks for my boyfriend too. He really likes them. But yeah, we also are getting, like, the more we're getting really into spring and eventually summer. Like in the summer, I don't wear my hand knit socks. Those are too warm. So there is a part of the year where I probably don't knit socks that much. At least don't wear them. So that's the thing. For the socks, I'm not using a pattern for the rest. As I said, I just look up the instructions for like the short row heel. Well, I know it already, the German short row heel, but sometimes I just like to have a little bit more instructions. Then the last project that I can share with you that I have worked on, but not a ton, and I will tell you why, is my cardigan that I'm making for our cozy cardigan make along. That is going on in the Clubhouse right now. So the Mindful Creators Clubhouse is my community group. As I said in the beginning, I have a community group. We have a really fun group where we have really regular events, of which guest speaker calls. We do events is really like the video calls. We have movie nights, we have craft and chats, like all different things. We even have game nights sometimes. We have a book club. There are many different things in there, but one of the other things that we do is a make along, and we're now doing a cozy cardigan make along because I thought it's the perfect time of year to make a cardigan, because I think it's a perfect layering piece for spring. Well, I am working, it's a little hard to show because it's on a really small cable. Oh, but as you can see, cable. As you can see here, this is what I have so far. This is the Maybury Cardigan by Amy Loden. It's a beautiful fisherman's rib cardigan. And as you can see, the texture is really, really beautiful. From the purple marker, that's where I left off last time. So this is one session, this is one session, and this is one session. Those are about 2-hour sessions. This is really slow. It's even slower than I thought it would be. I have made a brioche sweater before. I feel like fisherman's rib is even slower for me. I personally really like brioche. I was looking for a brioche cardigan but couldn't really find one. And I settled in this one, which is beautiful, but I still enjoy brioche knitting more over fisherman's rib. I have to focus more. And it is also hurting my wrists and shoulders more, which I really have to be a little bit careful with. So I cannot work on this very often or on a long period of time. So that's the thing. We have started the make along in February. So we are a month in. I am not going to be able to finish this. Well, as I say this now, but I'm pretty sure because I have so many other things that I am working on and I want to work on. Next to that, I'm working on collection and everything. I don't have a ton of knitting time, you know, so I do knit quite regularly, but I don't have hours every day. I don't have that time, and I want to keep it fun, as I said. So this is what I have so far. I think I'm halfway through the yoke and then I can split for sleeves, so there's still quite a lot of work to do. As you can see, yarn wise, this is some hand-dyed yarn, and I have already talked a little bit about this, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. This is in my own yarn. This is in 2 different bases. One of them is Mystical Mohair. So I'm holding a mohair. You can see the fluff like the halo. Mystical Mohair is super soft. I am a little bit sensitive for mohair. For example, drops mohair. It depends on the color, but it's a little sensitive for me, a little prickly. This doesn't itch at all for me. Like at all. I love it. It's so nice. So that's maybe good to know. I also have a really beautiful Surrey alpaca at the shop. That's buttery soft. But I really like this, so I wanted to make something with the mohair. And I'm holding it together with flowy fingering, which is my 100% superwash merino fingering weight yarn. I'm holding those together, making it a DK weight, and I'm knitting it on 4mm needles. Which is why there are no needles on here, because almost all my projects are on 4mm needles right now. The zipper sweater is on 4, this one is on 4, and I'm swatching something on 4 right now. The swatches for the new collection. So a lot of 4mm knitting. I feel like I've only been knitting on 4mm lately. The Surpass is on 3.75. Yeah, and then the blanket, it's different. Crochet, I can't really compare that to knitting. So what is your favorite knitting, how do you say that? Needle size knit width? Let me know. I'm curious to know, because I think I do like 4. But maybe I really like the texture of 4. So my 4 might be my favorite, but 4.5 is a little quicker. I don't know. But I can mentally prepare already, because if I go into some summer knitting, it's going to be tiny needles again. Color. Let me talk a little bit about this color. So as I've said before, this is a not yet released color, and I'm going to tell you when it's going to be released. I don't have a name for it yet. Maybe you can help me out with that. A little backstory. I am working on the new collection, as I've said 8 times already in this video. You're probably done with me saying that right now. But I can be really, I can change up collections. How to just say it like that. Before I put them out, I like to have the freedom to do that, and this was a color that one of the first colors that I created for the next collection, which is not going to be in the next collection anymore, but it's going to be in the shop update. So this color is going to be in next week Thursday's shop update. I have dyed it up in Surrey and fingering. I'm gonna dye it up in some mohair and maybe DK. I'm not 100% sure yet. It is gorgeous. I love it. It dyes up a little bit more as a tonal. I am not holding it. I am not alternating skeins right now. I wanted to see what it does, and I like a little bit of this like tonality in it. I think that's really nice. That's the beauty of hand-dyed yarn, as you can see here in the button band. I was gonna say ribbing, but button band. You see a little bit of tonality. I really like that personally. I think it's like, if I would want a solid yarn, I will buy commercial yarn. Good to know. It's really hard to dye up fully solids. I don't know if it's even possible to dye fully solid, but I think if you're looking for fully solid yarns, you shouldn't be looking at hand-dyed yarn. I really love the look of this, and as I said, I'm not alternating skeins because I wanted to see what it does, and I wasn't feeling to the alternating skeins while I'm working flat. I don't even know how that works here. Eerlijk gezegd, I would say, throw some Dutch in there. I don't even know how that works, honestly. So yeah, this is going to be this will be going live next week Thursday in the shop update. So if you want to match with me or anything like that, I can show you the skeins quickly. They are so beautiful. I love them so much. It's just this really icy blue. It's such a nice spring color. So this is just going to be in the shop update, and this is going to be one of the single colors, I call it, such as stracciatella and others that I have. Oh, I don't have a lot of them here. I see Pink Dream is one of my, I will put it up in screen here, one of those colors. Periwinkle Blue, that's a fan favorite too. I think this will be super fun for some color work probably. It has a bit of low contrast, so I would do stripes or something like that. And I'm also planning on making some other new colors for the shop, just the general shop. I just like to do that. It gives me some freedom to be really creative. And yeah, this was made for a collection, but now it's going to be in the shop update. Let me just show one more that's going to be in the shop update. It is this other blue. Is it focusing? Yes, it is focusing. This was also going to be for the next collection, but I put my palette down and this didn't fit in it. So that's okay. Things can change. Look how beautiful these would be together. Or this mohair, you could pair it with this too. This gives a bit more variation, or more like a mauve look. We love a blue over here. So let me know what you think of those. It's going to be really fun. So set your timers for next week. I feel like I've been talking a lot about my own yarn and stuff, but yeah, it is the Mindful Creatives podcast, of course. So I hope you don't mind. As I said before, this is just my corner on the internet that I just like to talk about my personal knitting too. But for me, the Mindful Creators is also that, I don't want to say it's also my personal life, but I wake up with the Mindful Creators in my head. I woke up literally this morning at like 6:30 and I immediately had an idea of something fun to do. So I'm going to work that out and hopefully tell you more about that soon. And I go to bed with it. So it's really just, yarn is kind of my passion. So I like to talk about my own yarns too. I also talk about other yarns, as I love a lot of different yarns, but I am going to be talking about my own yarns, of course. So I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind. Something else I want to talk about. Let me just quickly check my notes and then we're going to go into the rest of the video. The next part of the video we can go through pretty quickly because a lot of people talk about acquisitions in these videos and their next project plans, but I'm gonna be really quick. I don't have any acquisitions. I have my projects. I'm not gonna add much more to it at the moment. I said a little while ago that I don't have any other sweater quantities, but that's not true because I have another sweater quantity of yarn that my friend Claudia destashed and she gave to me, which is some gray yarn, drops, I think it's brushed alpaca silk and drops Puna? I'm not sure. And I do also have some other yarn. I don't have it here close to me. I have 3 skeins of Jelholz Ullespinnerie in a really beautiful dark chocolate brown color, and I need to have a mohair for that to pair to make a slip over. So I still have those. I have some sock yarn. So I haven't bought any new yarn. That's just the easy thing to say. I also don't think I've bought any accessories. No, I don't think so. And project plans. Yeah, I as you can see, I still have quite a lot to do on my project. So the zipper sweater will be the one that is, like, from sweater wise, will be the one that's finished first. I still have my Leon sweater also on the side that I haven't worked on in a little bit. Then the Surpass is something that I do really want to work on a lot. Elizabeth blouse is something that is probably my list, because my friend Claudia, this is Claudia from Claudia's Knits, by the way, she's my really good friend, and she influences me all the time to make something new. So it's really funny because our styles are pretty different, but we do knit quite a lot of the same kind of projects, but then completely different colors and different style wise. So she likes oversized a lot, and I like a bit more or a bit less positive ease. And it's really funny because we really like the same kind of patterns, but still make them very differently from each other. But she made the Elizabeth blouse. She was wearing it in her latest podcast, and it looks so gorgeous on her. That color, oh my god, it's so good. I love it too, that color. I love green, and I just need to make that eventually. So that one is on my list eventually, but not anything new right now. Yeah, I cast on the socks. If I have those finished, or when I have those finished, I probably cast some new socks. I have some DK weight sock yarn still, which would be nice to finish soon, because then I can still wear them for a little bit. But that's actually it for that part. I always like to end the video with listening, watching, and reading. I can be pretty quick about that too, because listening, I don't know if anything specific for that right now. Watching, we have watched The Tourist. That one was on, I think it was HBO Max, but I'm not 100% sure. Or Prime. I think it's HBO Max. It was a pretty good show. It's about a guy who, like, the show starts off pretty in an action kind of setting already. He gets driven off the road, or kind of driven into, by a big truck. And because of the hit that he gets, he loses his memory. So he tries to figure out again who he is, what happened, why he's there. But the guy that drove him off the road, he is trying to find him again. So there are some things happening. It's a really good show. It's a mini series of like 6 episodes. A lot of things happen. I really do recommend it. I think we really enjoyed it. There's some great character development in it. If you don't know, I study creative business, and a part of I'm done now, by the way. I've graduated recently, and one of the things that I really enjoyed of my study that we only really had in the first year or so was film analysis. I really like that. I just love everything with like video. So character development is pretty important to me. If I like, that really determines if I think a movie is really good. Saying that, we have watched something else. We have watched The Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds. No, is that what it's called? It's the prequel of the Hunger Games, that movie, which I liked for the most part, but I think the ending, I don't know, it felt a little, I don't know, rushed. It felt like it should have been 2 movies actually. So if you have watched that one, it was good, it was fun. It felt like getting back into the Hunger Games mode a little bit, but it's very different from. So if you don't know the Hunger Games, yeah, I think you know that probably. Otherwise, look it up because it's really fun. It was the prequel, so it happened many years before the eventual Hunger Games movies take place. So all the technology and everything is not that advanced yet in that time period. So the Hunger Games itself are very different still. But it was fun. I think it was a fun movie. We watched it at home. And do I recommend it? Yeah, it's a fun watch. I think it could have been a little better. That's probably it. Reading. I am still reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I haven't been reading much, to be honest. I like to read at night, so we have been getting a bit back into our old sleeping time, I guess, routine. So go to bed a little bit earlier, and then I can read a little bit, like half an hour or something. So yeah, that is fun. And I don't know if you know the books, but I'm reading a book from the Ekatar series, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've read them before. I love them. Reading it again, and I'm going to be telling this probably for a long time that I'm reading that book, because for me, when I'm on vacation or anything, I read those books. Those are like 500-page books in like 2-3 days. But when I read them casually, like in normal day life, then it probably takes me a few months to read through that one, because I don't read every single night, and I only read for like max half an hour at a time. But I love them. It's so good again. Oh, it's a really great series if you love fantasy. And it's not necessarily that much fantasy. I heard someone say that genre romantasy, so like romance and fantasy, and I think that's the perfect explanation. So if you like romance with a little bit of fantasy but really easy to get into fantasy, then it's a good series for you. There's a little bit of spice in there too. Mostly, I think it's going to start towards the middle, or no, I'm in the middle of the second book. So there are a few of those books who are, I was reading them on the train. The first time I was like, okay, I have to get my page a little bit out of someone's face. But I think that only starts really towards the end of the second book, I think. But I remember enjoying reading it, so I don't know about it. I'm gonna read it again, of course, now. But it's gonna take a long time for me to read. I don't think I'm gonna start many other books in between. I just like it like that, just not too many books going on at the same time. And that's it, I think. I have no idea how long this is gonna be. I think about 50 minutes. Future me knows if I'm right. Again, I really enjoy that you were watching here, and please let me know something in the comments about what I said about those questions. I'd love to chat with you in there. If you haven't liked the video yet, but you did enjoy it, so please like it then if you want, because it just shows me that you enjoyed it, and it makes me really happy, because I love to make other people happy. That's just one of my favorite things to do. And again, if you enjoyed the video, you can follow me here if you want. You don't have to, you can. I really would love to have you here. So I'm gonna close off for this one. I'm gonna edit it now. It's Thursday. I probably have it up by Saturday, I think. I've been playing around with a little bit with uploading times. It has been working out. So I upload when YouTube tells me the most people are online. And that is a Friday, sometimes a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. So it's always just a little bit like that. But it is every week at the moment. That's probably not that interesting though, but it's okay. So I'm going to close off. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed it here with you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, creator!